Phil. Alright, so we're here with. My name is Brian. Brian?
What's your name?
Gina.
What's your name?
Maria.
Maria.
What's up?
Not much.
Can I get your name?
Tony.
Alright, what's up, Tony?
And Brian, we can ask, do you know who Wonder Woman is?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
DC character, perhaps the most iconic female hero across the DC universe.
That was a good answer. Alright, so our first question is, do you know who inspired you?
I actually do not.
No problem.
Woman, who inspired her creation?
Who inspired her creation?
Yes.
I suppose Lois Lane,
Lois Lane.
but I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
Who inspired her creation? You don't know? That's alright, most people don't. Do you know who inspired her creation?
Jesus. Right?
And then next question is, how do you think Wonder Woman, how do you think she impacted the social cues when she first came out?
If I had to take a guess, she was very controversial because you had it was a male-dominated world. Around the 60s, I believe, is around when Wonder Woman's time came out. It was this pro-revolution era for women. Now in today's society, she's seen as like this icon. She inspires a lot of women can do a lot, a can-do attitude. Women can be superheroes too, which I agree with. But back then, it was a controversial issue because you had male-dominated society, male superheroes. Versus female superhero, it's like a challenge. A lot of people don't necessarily like being challenged.
Meaning?
Like, how do you think she's changed from the beginning of her creation to now?
Well, I think that in the latest movie, I kind of watched the latest movie, I didn't want to watch it because of political reasons.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot in the Israeli situation. I actually liked it, but I feel it was very empowering towards women regarding, the what do you call it, the Amazonian. I feel like it was, and I think it's a very good age right now to be very woman power and empowering women. So politically I didn't agree with it, but I feel like it garnered a certain strength and feel for women. Like women need more. I think we need more superheroes. I think in the cartoons it was just very much. It was a cartoon. It was just the lasso of truth and whatnot. And but I feel like the perception of, and this goes along with a lot of minorities, and by minorities I mean people of color and women, that we need more and better heroes.
How did the portrayal of Wonder Woman change according to time, like throughout the ages since her creation to today?
Oh, I think it's put a new twist on women's rights. It was in favor of women's rights to let women know that they can be powerful and effective.
Alright, so how did the portrayal of Wonder Woman change based on societal cues?
What do you mean? You mean like beginning with her debut and now?
Yeah.
I do feel like earlier on Wonder Woman was portrayed more as a sex symbol, which is fine and everything, but I think because there weren't female superheroes back then, and women weren't really looked at the same way they are now. We do have a lot more rights now, and it's not completely equal, but it's more equal than it was back then.
Yeah.
So I feel like now with the Gal Gadot version, she's just portrayed more as a strong character who's really a hero in her own right, and not just
what do you think she represents now for women?
I feel like the movie is very, empowering. However, I feel like women need to find better heroes or better mentors or better role models, and especially women who are like us.
Yeah.
For example, I would more follow a role model who is like me, not,
Exactly. Yeah.
not somebody who is completely different from me. I feel like as women and colored people of color, whatever, we need more heroes like that. That's how I see it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's all fantasy, and we need real people to look up to.
Exactly.
Yep.
Thank you.
I would say that now Wonder Woman has shown the significance of women's rights, and women's power, and it's more politically orientated now than it was at the very beginning.
Okay, next question we have is, what do you think she was represented when she first was created?
Like who do you think?
Like her symbol, like Wonder Woman. Who do you think? What did she represent when she was first created to normal people?
Well, given her character design, she was a princess that said, I want to step out of the status quo of being a princess and be a fighter. That can be just your average woman, or that can be someone who's trapped in a bad relationship, trapped in marriage, which honestly back then you have to figure a lot of women, they were housewives. Kind of gives them this idea, no, you don't have to be a housewife. You can step out of the status quo of what society's imposing and say, hey, be something else. Be a fighter, be a warrior, be an innovator, worker, stuff like that. So that's my guess, honestly.
And what do you think, when she was created, do you think, how do you think she was perceived? Like, as a feminist, a hero, a fantasy, like when Wonder Woman came to the scene?
I can see her being perceived as something good and bad. Most men back then, they weren't necessarily all like, oh, women stick to tradition. Some of them were very progressive. They wanted, even dating back to like fighting for the right for women to vote. Men wanted that for women. So I can see her being polarizing, but not necessarily to one gender in particular, but polarizing to people who want to stick to tradition versus people who want to break out of it. Men who think, yeah, women can go out and they can work, they can be equals, versus men who are like, no, they need to stay in the house, they need to stay in the kitchen, they need to do this. Same thing with women. Some women, they liked that lifestyle. Other women, they didn't, and they wanted to be free of it. So I can see her being looked at as a good thing or a bad thing, depending on which side of the coin you fell on.
That was all the questions we had today. Excellent answers. Thank you.
No problem.
You have a wonderful day, sir.
Okay. And how would you yourself personally perceive Wonder Woman? What does she represent to you?
To me, she represents a metaphor similar to, but not equal to, Superman.
No. Thank you.
How do I perceive Wonder Woman? Okay. I would say much in the same way as I perceive all heroes, like the comic book universe or whatever. It's more like a monetary, base. It changes with like what will make the most money, and so I'm not too sure what makes the most money today, but I would say that whatever Disney or whoever owns not Disney, so it's DC, whatever, Dark Horse Comics, I think, but whoever owns that company, obviously they have a lot of telemarketers or whatever, a lot of men who ascertain what will make them the most money, and as accordingly to each hero, they put that on that hero. Also, it's a lot of liberties with the writers and stuff. It's really subjective in the sense different writers will write different heroes in different ways. I don't know which I don't really read comics, so I'm not too uncertain as to which writers write which ways. So
Yeah.
I can't really give you a concrete answer, just like whatever will make the most money at the time. So.
That works. All right, thanks, Tyler. How do you perceive Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman's awesome. I love Wonder Woman. I think she shows young girls and women of like all ages that women can do anything. Like, you know, obviously we're not all gonna have, you know, a bustier and superpowers, but you know, she inspires everyone. She, like, you know, she makes me feel empowered. She makes me feel strong.
All right, that's about all the questions actually. Is there anything you want to say about Wonder Woman? Would you want to be Wonder Woman?
Sure, yeah. Wonder Woman's a, you know, feminist icon in my opinion, you know, especially like with the way she's presented now. I just think she's, you know, she's awesome. She's an icon in her own right.
Actually, I have one question of my own. If you could change Wonder Woman in any way, would you?
I wouldn't. Because even with like the way she's evolved over time, I think that like, I don't know, her portrayals like throughout history have been appropriate like for their time period. Like even the old, you know, TV show that used to come on, I love that version of Wonder Woman. She's just, I wouldn't change a thing.
Alright. Thank you. Alrighty then.
That's really all.
That is it, yeah. There's not too many questions. Some of them were already answered.